What is going on, Ada Nation? Welcome to the Dapp Central YouTube channel. My name is Fareed, and today I am joined by David from Studio Malacca to touch on Rookiez, what he's building, and what he's offering to the Cardano community as an indie game developer. Now, before I let David introduce himself, he is also a longtime watcher and viewer of the Dapp Central channel. So, first things off, David, I want to say thank you so much for all your support, supporting me from the very beginning. Happy to have you here. How you doing on this morning?
Thank you very much, Farid. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited, and yeah, I'm a supporter of your channel since the beginning. You are doing a tremendous job, and I'm glad to having you as a friend here.
Thank you. And I think you're doing a tremendous job in your own rights with respects to Rookiez. So that's what we're going to be touching on as a part of today's video. And let's just go ahead and just jump straight on into it. So Rookiez is going to be the first ever decentralized motorcycle racing game being built on Cardano, actually by you. So do you mind touching on what Rookiez is and what you're building for Cardano?
Yes, very glad to do that. Rookies is, as you said, is a motorcycle manager racing manager game. It works more or less like the football manager kind of games. So you have your own team to manage, you have your own riders, your staff members, your motorcycle prototypes, and your goal is to bring your team at the top. And there are several leagues. You have to bring it at the top by competing with all the other players around the world. During your adventure, you will train your riders depending on your staff members. You do research for the prototypes, and every season you receive new prototypes, as it happens with the regular MotoGP and Superbike racing. So yeah, it's a kind of game that usually is played for a very long time because the race are planned to be once per week or once per epoch. I still have to decide about that. We'll see the community what thinks is better. So during this time, you have to decide the strategy that allows you to train your riders and improve your motorbikes with research. The particular things about this game is not an NFT project, but it's a game that uses NFTs. It's different because there is no token, it's not a play to earn. And I decided to use NFTs because being a game that is played for a very long time, as I mentioned, I think that is just fair to give players full control of their assets. So if somebody decided to train a rider for 2 years and during this time makes it a champion, it's up to the player deciding they want to do with it. So if they want to sell it for money, yeah, it's not my business. It's something that they should have freedom to decide.
Awesome. Thank you for that amazing introduction. And what I'm blown away by with David is the amount of time and effort you've put into not only building the game, which we're going to take a look at here in just a minute. I've got an awesome clip I want to share with the community, but you've also taken the time to, I personally believe, I think, create the website as well, the
Yeah.
NFT nomics and everything so far. So you're like a one-man team, right? How has that experience been for you?
Oh, it's very challenging. Of course, it's this is a game that I have in my drawer for like 15 years already. It's something that I wanted to build for a very long time. Originally, it was planned to be a web game, but I think that is way more exciting, making it a real game and having it playable with some arcade parts. Because having a race per week maybe that the players find it a little bit boring. But if you have also a game that you can play and enjoy some arcade parts in it, then it makes it way more exciting. Yes, as you said, I did everything by myself. There is a website, the game itself, the front end, but also the back end and the server setup. That is a very big part of the game. And I'm fully aware that it's a very big project, so I don't want to be alone for all the lifespan of the game. I want to hire somebody else that can help me out, find more mistakes, and have an extra pair of eyes to look at the code and provide ideas. And that's why I have a proposal in Catalyst also for that, to have the team becomes bigger, have more specialists joining me and take care of the part that I can't cover. For example, I don't want to dig too much into the community building and marketing by myself because it's not a part of my skill set. So I think that having somebody else that is passionate about the game that can take care with much more professionality about those topics will help the game succeed.
I completely agree. And I think you're in the right community, right? With so many helpful hands in Cardano and with so many helpful initiatives like we have, for example, like Cardano Catalyst, right? So we're going to jump into your Project Catalyst proposal here in just a minute, but I have to go ahead and actually play this video here, which is, I believe, one of the um, trailers or promos here for the Rookies game. So let's go ahead and get this up on the screen. And I was just very impressed with this. So let's go ahead and just let this roll. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome there. Again, really interesting to see all of this coming from a single person with an idea, really bringing that to fruition. Again, David, I want to commend you for what you've built. Now, for I guess the viewers watching this, do you mind maybe touching on the roadmap and the vision that you have with Rookies? You know, obviously you've got a functioning product. It's in the very early stages, but what's next in, what do you have in mind for Rookies?
Yeah, it's a very long strategy I have for the game. The first step will be to publish a playable prototype. So what you see in the trailer will be available for more people that can provide feedback, and they can start testing the mechanics and allow me to adjust it depending on what people find out. This also will allow the first beta players to have time to improve their assets, so train their riders, get more specialists, and improve the motorbikes. And that will provide some differences between the high level teams and the lower one that will join later on. As I mentioned before, everything in the game is an NFT. So there is the riders, the staff members, the motorcycle, but also the team themselves will be NFTs. And people having a team can join the competition that will be official and will start after the prototype is released. We will take some more time to define better the backend and the needed code that need to be added to the backend. But the thing that I plan to do is to make all the races only raced by AI to make it more fair and don't force people to be online at preset times to do the racing because it's a manager game. So the first step will be developing finish developing of the first prototype. Then the second step will be adding the first season starting, and then I want to improve all the assets and graphics because everything you see in the prototype are just temporary assets. Both the 3D models and the 2D art that you see for the NFTs are temporary. It's just something that I need to put up in a very short time. And I'm glad that I found artists that helped me out with that. But I really have big plans for that. I am really in contact with a very big and skilled artist for replacing all the graphics of the game, and this is part of another Catalyst proposals.
Thank you for that.
Uh, yeah,
Go ahead.
another thing I want to touch is that once the game is developed and once people have the NFTs, probably that will be the start of something bigger because I planning to make other sub games that can use the same assets for different kind of stuff. So a lot of people like a lot of arcade racing, and the combat style mechanics. So they will probably release something different that can use the same asset, but is independent for the main game of Rookies. We'll see how things will go and how people will accept that and what is the opinion of the players in that regard.
Yeah, I think this will definitely be very well received again. The fact that it's being built by a member from within the community. And I also want to just take a second here while I've got you here to say thank you for sending me a Rookies NFT. I woke up one day and I was looking through my wallet and you'd reached out to me letting me know that you'd actually sent me a gift. And I was super happy to see that, it was an NFT from the Rookies project. So um, again, you're doing a lot here and it's all by yourself. That's I think that the biggest thing. So what I want to do next though is jump into the catalyst proposals and how that's going to help to kind of lighten the load here that's on your current shoulders. Do you mind touching on, your experience with the Catalyst proposals, what you have in mind, and how you plan on spending the funds, right? Because I think there's three of them. You've got
Yeah,
one which is going to be tying back to building on Endmaker, and then do you mind maybe just explaining what the other two are going to be surrounding?
sure, of course. So the first proposal is, as you said, is titled the Video and Maker, and this is for releasing the official prototype of the game to the public. As you already mentioned, there is still stuff to be added to the game to make it and bugs to be fixed before I can release it. And I really want to have somebody else helping me out with that. And so the first proposal is in a maker facility because, as I mentioned, all the NFTs are minted only from the game. That's depending on the player needs. And I'm using NMaker for that reason. I think a few months ago already, I released an open source component for the Unity game engine to access the NMaker API. And as you can imagine, I cannot release all the game as open source because that would mean exposing all the logic and mechanics of the games, and will remove a lot of the challenge that a management game provides. But my goal is to give back to the community as much as I can, and in doing that, creating tools that I'm using for my game that will be released as open source. Until now, I released two of them. There is this maker component, but also an ADA handle component that allows game developers to access the ADA handles API and use these tools inside their games. The first and probably most important of the three proposals. Then there is a second one. The second one is tied to creating a better version of the website, because the website for a management game like mine is very important because it's basically the main game manual with all the instructions, and also having a community engagement of a top level. So I'm in touch with somebody who will be the official community manager. We already decided that we will start as soon as Catalyst ends, and they will be focused to provide support for the user, because when somebody starts playing a game like this, probably is a little bit frustrating because there is a lot of stuff to know and to understand before they can enjoy the game fully. So having a community that can help out and answer questions is very important. So there will be a dedicated Discord server for that, and also an official Twitter account that will provide all the information with more engagement, and yeah, more often in the time. I can do it all by myself. Then there is a third proposal that is dedicated to replace all the temporary asset graphics for the NFTs, because you received one and you see that the graphics is not top level for the time being. So I really want to have it to be also a very nice project from an artist point of view. I think that the game deserves that. And also, I need to improve the backend system. Now everything is running on a single virtual machine that I configured and on the software that I made, and I need to create a high availability setup for the game to avoid that there are downtimes and the people can enjoy playing the game every time they want without technical problems can happen like now. So those are my three different proposals. I decided to make three of them instead of single one to better tie to the different challenges of Catalyst. I think this is a better way, and also provides the community with more decision power. So if they decide that one of the topics is more important than the other, with their words, they can show that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the best approach. It also gives you a better chance, right, to be accepted. So even if it's just one portion that gets accepted or passed, at least that's one that you are able to get funded, as opposed to a single idea and that idea doesn't get passed, and then now you're missing out on funding for all these other portions of the platform. So again, thank you for that breakdown of Project Catalyst and what you are offering for the Cardano community. I think, anything that I can do to help raise awareness surrounding that would be the least that I can do for what you've done for me. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed as to you getting funded on all three of these proposals, because again, I think that we need to come together as a community to show that, number one, we support the people that are building here from the ground up, but the number two, that it's possible. to show to other indie game developers that, if you have an idea and that you're committed to it, that you can join the Cardano ecosystem and that you can get funded by Project Catalyst. So again, I think this would be an ultimate success story, but I think it's going to be a hit with or without Project Catalyst. Again, I understand that Project Catalyst would take a huge load off of your
Yeah.
shoulders, but seeing what you've already done and what you've gotten so far is really impressive to see. So, let's go ahead
Thank you.
and I think, no problem. You're welcome. Let's go ahead and just kind of get ready to kind of wind this down here. I want to ask you, what is it that you want to share with the Cardano community, and how can they get in touch with you to learn more about Rookiez or potentially come on and join you as a member of the Rookiez team?
Yeah, sure. What my main goal is to bring regular gamers to the Cardano ecosystem and also to show that indie game developers like me that there is another way to make business that doesn't require using scammy play-to-earn models or neither to pay a 30% Steam tax. Maybe you don't know, but when you publish a game on those platforms like Steam, a big chunk of the profit you make are taken by Steam themselves, or the same happens for the Android marketplace or the iOS one. But in that case, being a PC game, I'm targeting Steam because it's the most common one. So it's possible to have another kind of business model, and it's possible to have success with that. So I want to show that you can create good games. And also there is another topic that I want to mention. In the traditional game development environment, there is still kind of, maybe prejudices about NFTs because the way that all the NFT projects are showing themselves to the public. Usually they are first they start selling NFTs with a big sale, with a floor price with maybe hundreds of ADA. And I think that is not inclusive. So I want to use NFTs in the other way around and forcing on innovation and inclusivity that I think they can bring a lot of drive to the Cardano ecosystem as well. To get in touch with me is very easy. They can contact me via Twitter. This is my handle that you can see on the screen. My DM is always open. Also, you can reach me out on Discord, and if you can find me always on the European Cardano community Discord server, because I'm a founding member of the European Cardano community, and I'm basically always available and always connected. That is now I'm very busy with developing the game, so I'm basically in front of the PC for 12 hours per day, so something like that. So I'm always here. They can get in touch with me in any way possible.
Awesome to hear, David. And I want to say thank you for not only being an indie game developer on the network, but really pushing Cardano, like you mentioned here, with the EU town halls and just staying connected with the Cardano community. So you guys have heard it here first. Check out Rookiez. Their official website is available at rookiez.org. I'll go ahead and leave the link to it down below. I'll leave the link to their Discord server as well as their up and coming Twitter page. If you guys are looking to find out more, feel free to reach out to David. And again, support the Cardano community here by potentially voting for the proposals here that David has set out, not only to help fund the game, but to enlarge his team and his Rookiez vision. David, it is a pleasure to finally get to collaborate with you again. I know you've been supporting me, and I wanted to do the same here with you. And on that note, I think that is going to wrap it up here for today's video. For the viewers watching at home, if you guys have enjoyed this particular episode of the coverage of builds within the Cardano community, I would really appreciate you if you could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the Dapp Central YouTube channel and you want more content like this covering all the builders on the Cardano ecosystem, consider subscribing. And if you guys have any questions for me or David surrounding rookiez.org, then make sure to go ahead and leave those down in the comment section below. That said, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.